Okie dokes. A couple of things to say before we begin. When we finish this session, if you've ever had any doubt about whether you can really hold amped frequency, you will know when we finish this section. These 87 steps, 8-7, and you will, because if I can hang on to it, you guys can. All right? Ash has been commenting on some very interesting elements of my anatomy, actually, when I went back. That's to say the better parts of my anatomy. Apparently I got flames coming out my bum. Real purty. I couldn't get out of the apartment. I had to lock her in the bathroom while I escaped. This is just to get you to relax and loosen up a bit, because I'm making you tense over these 87 steps you're going to do in a minute. Well, not in a minute. You'll do them in a lot of minutes, actually. That was fairly serious. Anyway, a serious comment. I just want to preface this with a gentle and very, very well meant heads up. No. I live with an extremely beautiful person who can talk to the beloveds just like I'm sitting right here with you now. But I can't do that yet. Do I doubt that I can feel that my cognitive abilities and understanding are in any way compromised because I can't do what she does right now? Or, as well as, because I can do it. All right? When you're doing these techniques, some of you may feel that because you can't see a thing, or maybe because you can't experience it quite the way you overhear people talking about it afterwards, which is not always the best kind of habits, because there's a kind of a glamour associated with how you got off on the technique that other people who perhaps didn't get off quite so well as you overhear what you're saying. Now, neither of the two parties are right. The people who get into the glamour of it don't get any applause from me. And the people who actually take their own face off, so to speak, because they're not doing it well enough, don't really get any applause from me either. Because one side is actually understating their ability and the other side is probably overstating their ability. And producing an effect which I couldn't really say is Christic, could you? Did it strike any of you as being a co-creative phenomenon? No. So for those of you who don't feel that you're seeing, or even feeling as much as you think you can, just continue to think and believe that you can, because you will. And as far as the effect of the technique is concerned, know that regardless of how you rate your sensory abilities, the effect of the technique is occurring equally amongst all people that are present within this particular shield. There is no difference between individuals. The only difference is the one the individuals create, in either overstatement of the sensory array or understatement of the sensory array. So guys, get with it, all of you, okay? Understand that no one gets this more or less than anybody else. Everyone gets it exactly the same. No matter how well or how badly you think you're doing, the effect remains the same. Okay, so do yourselves a favor, and each other. Be gentle with yourselves. Okay, end of bollocking. Now then, we're approaching the dyad level now. In fact, not approaching, engaging, activating the 1728 dyad Edon keys. So if you just do just a couple of minutes of shuffle bottom, get yourselves comfortable. This is a long, long one. And when we've done, we'll break for dinner. But in breaking for dinner, if I don't remember to tell you, you do have special instructions from the beloveds to do a little walking meditation. Don't hurtle straight after dinner and start stuffing your faces with solids. You know, you don't really want to be doing that too quick. You do need to do a little stretching if you can find a quiet space, just for a few minutes. Just stretch out one or two little yoga moves that you're familiar with, that you remember, that feel good to you, whatever like that. Just work your body gently. Just bring yourselves back into body and help by stretching the body a little if you can, all right? Not more than 10 minutes, 15 tops, and then go into dinner gently, okay? And from whatever point we do finish, and I'm not sure when, but I'm going to try, but I won't hurry it because this is really important. I can't see it's been done in much less than an hour anyhow, but once we are done, there'll be a 2-hour break. And then just to put the cream on your strawberries, when you come back from dinner, there'll be some more of this, but not quite as much to do. and then we'll get into some detailed material from Ashana and what the beloveds are now just putting together. And if all goes well, there'll be an activation before we finish this evening, and we are committed to midnight. If the circumstance doesn't suggest that it would be the right thing to do energetically for both of us, because by that time we could be feeling a little bit worn, a little bit tired, we'll carry the activation over until tomorrow with no, we won't lose anything if we do it that way. But it feels okay to do it, we'll do it tonight. But if it doesn't happen, don't wonder why. It'll happen tomorrow. Okay. So the opening instruction here is to refer all of us to there being a large circle of people in Earth Core right now, standing around a flame that is connected to the Tauran light seed of the Eartha shield. This large collective of hominid, cat, bird, winged lions, or winged lions if you prefer, are called the Isha Nue, one of the 12 Aurora races. Be aware that we also have a portion of our consciousness stationed down in Earth Core, standing in an outer circle around the inner circle of the Isha Nue around the Eartha flame. So please bear that in mind as we begin. Now, to begin the process, and as a bit of preparation, inhale the little pink Sadi sphere upward from the Tauran at the Azure and into the pineal gland at the brain center. Hold briefly, and then exhale very slowly and gently, using the breath to expand the Sadi sphere at the pineal outward to the size of a basketball. And as you do this, intend or mentally command that you open the inner eyes of Rashalay and observe the group that are in front of you at Eartha Core. You are part of a circle standing outside and around the group of the Isha Nue as an inner circle. Now, to begin this particular technique, I want you to take several charging breaths. Just gentle, natural, rhythmic breathing. But breathe up into the pineal and then out into the basketball-sized Sadi sphere without expanding the size of the sphere at all. All you want to do is just to charge the sphere with your heliotonic energies that you can pull in. Just pull them into your fields gently. Just strong, confident, natural, gentle breathing. Several breaths into the sphere without changing its shape or size. Now, we want you to amplify this charge, okay, by taking the lotus touch finger position of the right hand, okay? Continue to breathe charging breaths, but direct the frequency down the right arm into the lotus fingers, to the little flames, the end of your fingers. Bring your lotus touch fingers directly in contact with the Iumbi, and continuing to breathe frequency down the right arm and through the fingers. Just stimulate the Iumbi a little bit. If you want to tap it, you can tap it. If you want to rotate the fingers, rotate them. Be confident in the knowledge that the direction of rotation will be whatever is appropriate to you. You're looking for a little bit of a warming feeling here. Once you feel that little bit of extra warmth occurring in and around the Iumbi, we should all be getting a little bit of warmth comfortably now. In a second, we'll use an inhale breath. And you're going to use this breath to move the warmth the signature of the warmth you're feeling right here in contact with the umbi, you're going to move the energetic signature of this warmth up into the pineal. So you'll inhale the warmth, the signature of the warmth and the frequency attached to it, up to the pineal, and just hold the warmth up there in the pineal. Hold it all there. And in a second, just a gentle exhale into the sadi sphere, keeping the sadi sphere basketball size the same. And continue now by breathing gently from the Iombi. So inhale from the Iombi, and on the exhale move the Iombic energy up and into the sadi sphere. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing working at the Azare. So just recharge the lotus fingers. Just 1 or 2 breaths. And again then move into a rhythmic breathing where you're exhaling down the right arm into the lotus touch fingers, and you're tapping or rotating at the Azare at the base of the thymus. And again, you're looking for that little bit of warmth beginning to occur in the area of the Azare. And around about now, you may be able to breathe, inhale that warmth, the signature of the frequency, the warmth that's there at the Azare. Inhale it up to the pineal again, and gently expand that signature out in the sadi sphere without changing the size of the basketball around you. And continue to take a few gentle breaths from the Azare. And exhale the signature of the warmth at the Azare into the sadi sphere without changing the size. And now one more time, we'll repeat the same thing exactly, working at the Rajna, at the third eye position. Just 1 breath will be sufficient, just to recharge the lotus touch fingers. Bring the fingers up to the third eye, the Rajna. Again, just rub in either direction, or tap very gently if that's what you move to do. Just work there for a few moments until you feel the warm response occurring in that position. Maintain contact with the Rajna. Don't take your fingers away. That's important. On the next inhale, move the signature of the warmth into the perineal as you did before. Now you can remove your fingers if you wish. Continue to breathe naturally and easily, breathing into the Rajna as you had been doing with the Iombi and the Azare. Each time exhaling the signature of the warmth into the basketball-sized sphere without changing its size or shape. Now, just to complete the stimulation of the Rajna point in your own way, you can just bring both hands up to either side of your nose, lotus touch finger position, and just rub gently on the side of your nose and also on the upper tips of your cheekbones just below the eyes. Continue to breathe frequency down both arms. Now, whilst you're doing this, and once you feel inclined to drop your hands, you can do that. But presently, just visualize, and maintaining skin contact for a minute might be helpful. They're asking you to visualize the triangle of light now running between the 3 points, the Rajna position and the upper tip of the cheekbone just below the eyes and the sides of the nose. It's creating a triangular shape where you've got a horizontal line, so to speak, running across the top of the cheekbones, across through the nose to below the centers of your eyes, and then up to the apex of the triangle at the Rajna. Now, take an inhale breath up from the Iumbi and hold it at the pineal for a moment. Hold. Now you're going to project the exhale out through the center of the triangle that you created. Okay, the triangle that we've just been talking about. Exhale through the center as best you can manage of that triangle. And do this twice more. Inhale, hold, and exhale through the center of the triangle. And then do the inhale, hold, and exhale once more through the center of the triangle. And then just breathe gently for a moment and see whether or not you can get an image. And if you can't, just intend that you have one, either inside or outside of your viewing screen. It doesn't matter which you do. But what we're looking for, trying to sense or feel, is a triangulation with gold and silver light around it, as if now it's a triangular doorway is opened, as if a membrane has come down. And suddenly, as if you're looking out into a nighttime sky, and you can almost feel a breeze, a cool breeze coming from it. Not quite warm, just cool, like a coolly warm summer night breeze coming through. And you can see stars beyond this triangulation, this gold and silver outline triangulation. And what you're looking for, or trying to sense or feel, is if you're looking out to a night sky with this cool breeze blowing through it towards you. This is one of the windows of the body. For now, we call it the triangle window. Now, the Isha Nue are going to have us use this triangle window, and they're going to have us extend it. We can use the breath to extend it out forward and way, way, way out into the distance. And we're going to point it, giving it a location in the future. That is after the completion of a successful starfire where everything is stable. They're telling us it's the heroic probability of Earth and Eartha through this time frame and through its best evolutionary course through the present starfire cycle. That we're going to link this triangulation window of energy way up into the future and project it out. This is what we might call an ideal future. It will be different for everyone as far as being as specific as concerned. It's an idealization of the future for this universe, the galaxy, solar system, planet, and all its light fields. That's what they're asking us to aim for. So what we're looking for now is to create a sensation in the pineal, which is like igniting a little spark of pale silver gold light in the pineal. So if you just simply inhale to, as it were, catch or activate the spark in the pineal, hold briefly, catching the spark, intending the gold and silver light to be there in your pineal, and then forcefully breathe this little spark down to the Mahadra point in Earth's core and hold the breath out at the bottom of the exhale. Hold it out. In a second, a rapid inhale, a rapid one, and you're going to notice that coming up with the breath is a very intense violet transmutation rainbow. So inhale rapidly, upward, And try and notice or feel energy coming up, which is a very intense violet transmutational rainbow. Now project it out now through the center point and into that window. So just a little quick inhale and out through the window. And it will take the triangulation out entirely, all of it, like a triangular tube moving out forward in front of you into the future. If you want to take a quick breath just to give it an additional impetus, quickly in, quickly out, and push this triangular tube out in front of you, out into whatever you call your idealized future, and then return to gentle breathing. And just for a second or two, see if you can sense the feeling of the triangular-shaped gold and silver tube running out throughout all of your fields, out, all the way out to a point where you can no longer even track it. Imagine that way at the end of this triangular tube pillar window that we've sent forward, there's going to be a face that appears way out on the other side that we'll be able to see, a bit remote, just a little bit. Just a vague sense, a vague outline if you're able to see or sense, but it will be, above all things, a face of you in the future. This is a you that has made it through to that ideal future probability. It is and will be a self that will be calling you home to that ideal future probability. You don't have to worry at all about what the self looks like, but it is a self that is the direct next continuation of the body that you occupy now. Or it may be of another incarnation of the very same body if you're not planning to be in this body for the long haul. But this is the you that you are becoming, that remembers you here now, the you as it was and is, that made it through these changes and is in an ideal future. Now imagine or intend that on the other side of this window, with the starry background behind it, you see yourself sending yourself here frequencies of love. So this future self that you're seeing or intending is there, present, at the end of your gold and silver triangulation tube. This future self is sending you love now. And that self is wanting very much for you to feel just a little bit of what it is trying to send to you. It's not trying, it actually is sending. You're trying to feel it. The frequencies that are being used are pale silver pink with sapphire. The pink sapphire frequencies coming through this triangular tube window from the future. Try to feel them on your face as they pass down through the triangulation, coming from the future you to where you are right now. Try to feel the frequencies as if they were flowing light, gossamer light liquid, caressing the immediate fields just above the skin. Try to feel them as they move past your facial boundary. Try to feel them as you allow them to move into your head. These frequencies are going to move back through your head, through the pineal area, and all the way out the back. It's going to keep on going, making a triangular window tube all of its own. But this is a pink one, moving out the back of your skull, having passed through the pineal, and it's going to move all the way out back. It's going to extend way, way back into the past, into an ideal past, where all sorts of unpleasant events took place that led to a not ideal present and past history line. And we're going to link the ideals of a past and a future together within us. So now, try to imagine, try to tell yourself a kind of little story, if you will, that back there in the past, there is a first self. A first you self. A first self that was in the outer domains. and a first self that before that was in the middle domains, the Edon domains, and a first self that was in the inner domains, the hubs, and a core self that was in the core domains. This process of imagination, of telling yourself a little story, reminding yourself of the truth, is a linking of the levels of self all the way through, the past and the future, which really are all happening at once, to the present and to the core self that is connected to the Torah, linking it directly with God's source. And now that we have this triangle window activated within our pineal and within our sadi sphere, we're going to use it. We will use it to begin linking the rest of ourselves. We have just linked our upper chakra system, our mental aspects, with this ideal past and future. And we are now going to bring that link and that window, that tubular triangular window, down into the Azure shield and the Iombi shield, and then below our feet into our Maharic shield. And then we're going to do something else. Then we'll bring this gift to the link to the ideal past and future into the Earth shield, which we'll do as a group and meet the cells we have down there and bring it as a gift to the Earth and Eartha. The Earth shield itself won't be able to hold that connection, but the Eartha shield will. The Eartha shield will activate the ascension spiral fire letters of the dyad. And Earth shield is going to continue activation of the threshold reverse Metatronic fire letters, which began to occur in March 2006. Now, just refresh your memory, call to mind, if you will, that we do have this lovely tube that is now this triangular tube from the future all the way to the past, that is pale silver pink sapphire color of oscillating energy in the core. And in a minute, we're going to take an inhale and grab hold mentally of the tube inside the pineal level. Then just gently push it down to the Azure level, and then we're going to breathe some energy through it there. And then we're going to move again down to the Iombi and down to the Maharic shield. But as we do this, it's going to move our Sadi Seta sphere with us. So the basketball-sized bubble of the universe beyond is going to move with it. So as you move the window down, it will take the ball right with it, as if they're attached to each other. And what they will do is replicate. So by the time we bring it back up, we will have actually made a replica at each of the density levels within the bubble. So, take an inhale breath from Earth core and bring up a pale silver violet light from Earth core. Bring it up to the pineal and imagine that the pale silver violet light makes a ring around the outside of the triangular tube that's running through the pineal. Now, in a moment, exhale and watch the brilliant light turn into a little dot inside of the window. Exhale and watch that brilliant light turn into a little dot, or intend it. It is that pale violet dot that is going to the movement controller, so you can control the movement of this tube with it. Don't even think about the little dot, just know it's there. And just intend that the tube in the Sadi sphere will move when you're asked to move it, and it will do it automatically. That little dot will make sure that it follows the instructions. Take another gentle inhale of any color that you feel like, up from Earth core. Hold that at the pineal. Now you're going to release half of it gently, half of it, okay? So release half of it gently down while moving the Sadi sphere and the triangle window down to the Azure. Half of your lungs, that's all. Then inhale and move the Sadi sphere down to where it was, okay, to bring it in line with the triangle window. Now bring some of the Rajna energy down into the Azure, full exhale. You might feel a bit of a warming sensation there, and that's fine. And then just breathe gently as the Sadi sphere and the triangle window tube are at the Azure. You may get a feeling of tone, some sort of musical-like tingling, or little bells talking to each other, running through the center of the Sadi sphere. Now, while in this particular position where everything's lined up this way, just try for a moment to find where your eyes of Rashalay went. Some people left them up in their heads, and some people brought them down in the shield. If you can locate where you think you left them, you can ride them down, if that's to say if they were left up in your head, and put them on the shield plane, put them back on the shield plane where they belong, within the Sadi sphere at the Azure. So just a little adjustment to make, just an intention. Just ask for it to move, and it will. Now that we've done that, just give the command to your Rashalay eyes to see if they're capable of bringing any impression to you yet. And just breathe normally for a moment or two while you experiment and explore. And go easy on yourselves. Remember, you're just beginning to play with this potentiality. It's something that we will do more and more often, that you should try at home more and more often. Practice makes perfect, and it really applies to this. If you're getting nothing, don't worry. Persistence is everything. Now at the moment, whilst you're breathing like this, we're waiting for the dyadic coding that we activated within the Sadi sphere, the Toran and the dyad. We're waiting for this to embed itself fully into the crystal seal structure that's connected to the Azure. Just continue to breathe gently. Continue to maintain an intention and a request that your Rashalay eyes get into focus. Maybe they won't, but do it for a moment. Okay, the dyadic coding has been activated, and we'll move on now. So the next thing we'll do, we're going to move the window in the Sadi sphere down to the Iumbi. So again, you can choose any frequency color you wish. Inhale a stream of frequency color up from Earth Core, up to the pineal. Release this one a little bit more firmly than the last, and use the exhale to push the Sadi sphere in the window down to the Iumbi. And then just take a few gentle breaths there. Okay? Now I just want you to focus on what you're doing with your exhale just over the next 3 or 4 breaths. On the next 2, just inhale gently and then exhale up into the pineal. Just a couple. And then do a couple of exactly the same kinds of breath, exhaling into the Iumbi. Alrighty. Now we're going to take a breath from Earth Core, and specifically you're going to draw a stream of pale turquoise silver light from Earth Core on the inhale all the way up to the pineal. And then just exhale very gently into the pineal. Okay, just breathe in a relaxed way for a second. And then the next breath is a drawing breath from Earth Core of any color that appeals to you, any frequency register that appeals to you. Bring it all the way from Earth Core, all the way up into the pineal, and hold briefly at the pineal. And this will be a half breath that follows. In other words, you use half of the breath on the exhale, sending this self-same color and frequency down to the Iumbi on a half breath. Stop. And then exhale and push this energy out both the front and the back of the gold and silver window in one go. And then come back to gentle breathing. Now on the next inhale, try to notice that the energy has brought a line of the tubular window into alignment with the other two above it, the one that was stationed here. An imprint left from each one. Even though we moved the sphere and the window from here to here, there is still an imprint of each left. So now you have them all aligned properly, and that will allow the density 1 level that's coming out of the EOB to stabilize against the pull of the threshold field that is running in density 1. Now we have one more place to move the sphere and the triangulation tube. We have one more place to move it, and that's going to be the Maharic shield right below your feet. And we're going to take an inhale breath in a moment from Urta core, and then, having held it, we'll exhale and place the Sadi sphere and the window down to below your feet where your Maharic shield lies. Okay? So, an inhale breath up from earth core, heliotalic is fine. Hold briefly. And then exhale in a short but not too sharp a way, but fairly forcefully. And place the Sadi sphere and the window alignment down in the Maharic shield below your feet. And then just breathe gently. Just breathe gently. But on each exhale, for the next 3-4 breaths, exhale energy into the Sadi sphere, which is now located in the Maharic shield beneath your feet. Just continue to do that. And in a moment, we're going to get ready to expand the Sadi sphere. We're going to expand it to larger than basketball size. And in this expansion, we'll expand it beyond and through the Maharic shield below your feet. In fact, you can expand it as big as you want, and as big as it will go. And you don't need to worry about how big yours is going to be made or how big anybody else is going to be made. You just do the best job you can, and don't worry about anything or anyone else. If so, you want to keep it basketball size, you can do that. But the beloveds have suggested that we can be a little more ambitious and just entertain the idea that we really do have the ability to expand it to much larger than a basketball anyway. The thing is that by attempting an expansion, all of the imprints you've left behind all the way up the stack, they will all follow suit, and all the spheres will expand according to what you're doing at the Maharic shield level. And the diameter of the sphere that you finally finish up with in your Maharic shield will be the diameter of the pillar that will eventually form around you. So basically, if you keep it basketball size and you don't try, you will simply have a pillar the width of a basketball-sized tube. If you make it bigger, you'll have numerous layers. It won't just be a pillar that's way out there and nothing in between. And you'll actually activate in the Maharic shield each of the dimensional subharmonic levels, and you progressively create layers of the pillar around you. I mean, don't be limited. Think maybe think of expanding it 300, 600,000 miles if you want. But somewhere in between would be wise, I guess. Well, if you send them too far, it will diffuse your energy, You want to keep the balls small enough, but not basketball size, but in a way where you still feel as if you've got a relationship with them, that they're within your energy range, so that you can concentrate energy in them on a regular basis, so you haven't, so to speak, spread it all too thinly. You can keep it right here in the room, and it doesn't matter whatsoever if the balls, the spheres, actually overlap or run through each other. That's absolutely fine. And you won't pick up anything from each other either. You're all absolutely safe. Each one will have a precisely different oscillation rate. so you don't have to worry about your neighbor or anything like that. So, excuse me. So now just take a few gentle breaths, bringing up heliotalic, pale rainbow-colored sparks up from the urta core into the pineal on each inhale. On each exhale, push them gently down into the sadi sphere below your feet in the Maharic shield. And keep the sadi sphere the same size for the first 3 breaths. So use them as charging breaths. After the 3rd breath, you can begin breathing into the sadi sphere with the intention of expanding the sadi sphere on each exhale. Just gently push the energy, the pale heliotalic rainbow-colored energy, into the sadi sphere, gently expanding it. Now, regardless, as it were, of where every individual in the room is at the moment, I just want to bring yourselves back very briefly to just gentle, easy breathing, because we're going to take 3, we're all going to breathe at the same time, but we're not doing anything to anybody else's sadi sphere. We're going to take 3 breaths, though, in sync with each other. And each of these 3 breaths represents 3 specific notches of expansion, of intentional expansion, where you're going to be quite consciously and quite intent on moving your sphere, the sphere at the Maharic shield level right now, because the others will follow. You're going to move them out in these 3 breaths now quite distinctly and precisely to the kind of diameter that you want them to be. All right? On the last of these 3 breaths, you will hold your lungs empty. Okay? So 3 increments of final expansion to fix your sadi spheres where you want them to be. Deep inhale. Long, slow expansion increment out. That's number 1. Inhale deeply. Long, slow, incremental breath. Push that sadi sphere out confidently and lock it onto the increment there. 1 final deep inhale. And 1 long, slow, powerful exhale. Hold the breath out. And in this moment of holding the breath out, send the intention, lock. And once you're satisfied, just inhale slowly and gently. And allow yourself to reflect on the size of the sadi sphere you've now created within the Maharic, within and around the Maharic shield below your feet. Just take a moment to try and feel where the top part of your sadi sphere is now in relation to your body. See if you can sense where the top of it is. It may be so big that it's way, way, way over the top of your head. On the other hand, it may not. I mean, it may be, since it's centered below your feet in the Maharic shield, it may be, arcing through the Azure, it may be arcing through your Yombi, that's perfectly fine. It could be arcing through your crown, it could be way, way above your head. Could be all the way out the room, There are no prizes for the diameter, I'm afraid. Now I want to take an inhale breath. And I want you to move your enlarged sadi sphere down into your personal Mahadra point. So inhale and move your enlarged Sadi sphere down into the personal Mahadra point. We're not connecting it to anything yet. Inhale and move the rainbow sparks up. Just inhale and draw rainbow sparks up into the Maharic shield. And on the exhale, push downwards the whole sphere. That's the imprint that you left behind. All right? Now a big hail and bring it all the way up to the top of your head and out of the top of your head all the way up to chakra 14. And then exhale and draw the entire breath itself down into earth core while leaving the sphere at the head where it started. That's all around your head. And then breathe easy. Now there's going to be some kind of reaction that takes place between the large sphere that is now stationed around the head at the pineal and the other smaller spheres, the imprint of which were created when we moved the Sadi sphere and the triangular tube window down. So just relax for a minute and breathe gently. The larger sphere is going to trigger the same expansion in all the others. So you're going to have another large sphere of same size expand at the Azure, another one will expand at the Yombi, and they will come out in their own time. You might feel a pop or some strange physical sensation, and you don't have to do anything more with them. You don't have to breathe into them or anything like that. They will actually make their adjustment in their own time, quite quickly, in the next few seconds or a minute or two. And as this is happening, we now have a set of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 large Sadi spheres. Each of them has a window to the ideal past and the ideal future running through the ideal present. As this activation continues, the Eartha shield is going to activate its dyad Edon keys. And we're going to take, first we're going to take certain steps to combine these 5 spheres into one very large sphere with 5 levels within the one very large sphere. And then, after that, we're going to create a replica of it, and we're going to send it to the center of the indigo shield. And in doing that, we're going to bring the keys that we anchored from the solar shield through the indigo shield into a position where they can download as one large burst into the Eartha shield. And the first part in doing this, and you will be keeping your own dyad key sets contained within those spheres, because we're just taking an imprint of it. When we do the group thing, we'll put it into a collective form. You keep your own personal one. You just take an imprint, and you'll only have the keys that go to the Eartha shield. They won't have the ones that are personally yours. It's not taking anything from you at all. So, bringing the 5 Sadi spheres together. This is done by first activating the core fields by just doing one round of the Uma E Traina E Ekasha, just once. Okay, so let's just do that now. You can do it in your head or out loud if you want to. It doesn't matter which. But just one round. Uma E Traina E Ekasha. Now, move your attention to the center of the Azure. And we're going to take just one large, deep inhale breath. And on the inhale, we're going to pull both downward and upward. We're going to pull the Sadi sphere from the head down to the Azure. And we're going to pull the one from the Mahadra at Earth Core, and the one below our feet, the Maharic shield, and the one at the Yombi, upward at the same time. So it's going to bring the spheres together at the Azure. And in doing this, we'll merge them with the Azure sphere. So just take one large inhale breath, pulling from above and pulling from below up to meet, bringing the spheres together, the Sadi spheres coming together at the Azure. And then exhale from the Azure with the idea or the intention of pushing them all out together, expanding them as one, out and around the Azure. Okay, and then just breathe easy. All right? Now, there's a choice here in the making, but basically we're each being invited now to accept or not, and everyone can choose as they wish, but the invitation is to make a personal connection with the Eartha planetary shield. And it's something that will happen. It will be done strictly on a personal level. It will be done, if it's done, through the part of yourself that's in bilocation. That's to say, is already part of the Eartha planetary shield already. There's a part of you that is waiting for this activation right now in some less dense form of matter in the Eartha core, waiting to receive this connection with you, and it's through that part of yourself that you will be able to connect directly. There's also a feeling of the planetary consciousness that goes with this, but it's a bit different than the one that you feel when you connect with the Earth itself, the Earth shield variant. With the Eartha shield, there is a huge feeling of love and tolerance and just pure awareness of a kind that we perhaps find it hard to comprehend. But we're going to try to look at those feelings when we make this connection. So we're going to use the breath to create a replica of the large set of 5 Sadi spheres, which are basically now one large Sadi Seta sphere with 5 interior levels. Okay? Each of them have their own window, the little tube into the future and the past. And we'll do this, we'll accomplish this by taking a breath into the Azare, and on the breath we'll deliver the intention that a replica, and only the replica, of the large Sadi sphere goes all the way down to Earth core and down further still to the Eartha shield. So take a breath into the Azare if you personally wish to do this, intending that on this breath a replica of the large Sadi sphere is created, that on the exhale now you will send all the way down to Earth core and down further and more deeply to the center of the Eartha shield, and you will then hold with lungs empty at the bottom of the exhale. I just inhale very slowly and very gently. And as you do that, try to imagine that the replica of your large Sadi sphere is now down in Earth core and Eartha shield, and the part of yourself that is already there. Imagine that this part of yourself that is already there is walking towards the replica Sadi sphere that you've just put down there in the Eartha shield. It's walking there towards it in its own bubble or sphere, but it is going to step inside the replica sphere that you created. Now just breathe gently in a relaxed way and try to get some feeling, some idea, some sense, some inner image, whatever. You don't have to use your viewing screen. And try to feel or sense, in some way appreciate what's happening down in Earth core, in Eartha shield. Try to see the sphere or feel out the sphere or the intention that you sent it with. And try to see down in Eartha core and the version of you. A you that looks like you here, this particular one, but you have different clothes on. You have different clothes on because everyone present seems to be wearing very simple, plain, white gown type things. They're white, but they're not white. They're kind of white but shimmery with heliotalics moving through the material as if the material is alive itself, and it probably is. In fact, it is. And these are in fact garments of light, truly beautiful, sparkling and shimmering. Kind of heliographic papers you see here, but much, much finer and lighter. And this self of you has these kinds of robes on. Everyone there has them on. Has to do with the frequency you need to hold in order to enter Eartha core. That's what the robes actually symbolize. So try to sense the feeling of that robe of the self that looks just like you, but has this robe on that is so much at peace and so co-resonant with the literal frequency at Ertakor. Try to feel out what it feels like. Try to put your consciousness momentarily into that self. What does the material feel like against your skin? I would think it would be like walking or standing in a gently warm kind of gossamer mist almost, that it's a living thing. The material is alive, it's aware of you and you're aware of it, and there's a kind of a zingy kind of happy feeling just to be aware of the sensation of the relationship that exists between both, that are separate but not, that are unified in their understanding. And as you're doing this, as you're feeling, as you're exploring, as you're doing your best to connect with the sensations, what you're doing is that you're actually you're sending these very frequencies up into your physical body right here, right now. And the Ishinue are working to assist actually in you bringing the replica robe in a real but facsimile form up on the breath. Because the robe contains, as it were, a beautiful shroud of frequencies that are needed to access the very sacred core spaces of the Urta planetary shield. So inhale and then exhale gently, moving your consciousness down, a part of your consciousness down to the image of yourself in Ertakor. Inhale this from the Azure. Inhale once more up into the Azure, very gently, as if to create a little package. Create a little package as if it were a heliotalic spark. And in the moment of intention on the inhale, just inhale that little package, that little heliotalic spark into the Azure. And on the exhale, push it gently outward into the large sphere. And notice how on entry, as it enters the sphere, that the little package opens up. And it becomes this lovely garment of heliotalic light. And out of your Azure, this little garment has arisen. And whether you can feel it or see it or not, you now are actually enshrouded in an identical matching garment of light, lying within the etheric body structure, just above and against the skin. And try, if you can, just for a moment to sense what this feels like. And it's appropriate to point out that this is not a transient gift, it's yours. It exists for all time. And there are moments in the future where you will need to feel a little more deeply, perhaps, the connection with these representatives of the first-time representatives of the Aurora races. But there'll be other occasions when it's entirely appropriate that you present or see yourself in this particular form now, shrouded in this heliotalic gossamer, almost solid but not solid, beautiful gown-like garment. And from this appropriate space, we're going now to do two things. The first is that we're going to create another replica image of our Sadi sphere, and we're going to imagine that there is a large disc up in the ceiling of the room, and in the center of the disc is a collection area that's going to collect these replica spheres and the whole set of dyad keys that belong to the Urta shield. The Urta shield, the indigo shield, isn't above our heads right now. It's down below our feet. Its main plane is down below our feet. It is, however, a dome shield. All of the shields actually are spheres. So when we talk about a shield, we're dealing with the plane that runs in the center of them, but they are actually spherical. So what the beloveds have created is a collection area that will be easier for everyone to aim at without physically or energetically blowing through each other in order to project the replica out. So the beloveds are going to collect the replicas up in this area, in the ceiling, in the center of the ceiling in the room. And then we're going to breathe it down into the indigo shield once they're all collected and harmonized. And that won't take even a split second to do. And then after that, we're going to go on a journey. We're going to go with our Sadi spheres down and open our Rashale eyes and go down into merger with the part of ourselves that is down in Urta core. And we're going to ride the shield down, bring it down, so it can merge with the Urta core and that part of ourselves. We're also now preparing to receive the dyad tachyon initiation. When we get to the point where we drop the shield, when we bring it down, it's going to initiate the dyad tachyon cycle within ourselves and within the indigo shield once we're done. So just continue to breathe gently for a moment. In a second, we're going to inhale, and on that breath, we're going to pull a pale silver pink spark upward from the Urta shield core into the Azure. And we'll hold that there in the Azure for a moment, intending to collect the imprint of our Sadi Seta sphere and the appropriate portions of it that go with the Urta shield that we're supposed to transfer the dyad keys to. So inhale and draw a pale silver pink spark from the Urta shield core into the Azure and hold it there for a moment. And as you hold, intend it collects the imprint of our Sadi Seta sphere and the appropriate portions of it that go with the Urta shield that we are supposed to transfer the dyad keys to. Now, exhale and point the exhale toward the center collection point in the ceiling above your heads. Take an inhale up from the Urta shield, pale pink silver, and send it out following that little spark that has just gone out on your last exhale breath. Notice that when the second spark collide with the first in the center of the shield and the ceiling, that a replica of your Sadi sphere pops out in the center of the shield and the ceiling. So what we have now at the moment is a kind of a nest of eggs upside down, some of them pretty huge. But not to worry, that's all fine. Just breathe gently. Just breathe gently for a little bit while they get sorted out. So, next what we're going to do, we'll leave our replica Sadi spheres in the nest while they get sorted out, up in the ceiling area in the center. And we're going to activate our ascension chamber pillar. Like looking down an elevator shaft. You can also call it your breathing tube if you want to, but it does much, much more than that. So we're with the intention at the Azure. Set the intention at the Azure. Say to yourself, speaking as if it was into or from the Azure, I am now going to open my ascension chamber pillar. So with this intention set at the Azure, take an inhale breath from the Azure point all the way up to chakra 14 and hold the breath up there 3 feet above your crown at chakra 14 and try to notice or feel or sense that there is quite a large 1728 petal living lotus flower sitting there at chakra 14. Now exhale and take that whole lotus flower and run it all the way down to the Mahadra, down through and into our personal connection at Urta. Just breathe easy for a moment And we're going to inhale all of that we've made down at Urta back up to the pineal, and then exhale. So when you're ready, inhale all of it back up to the pineal, and then exhale slowly and gently. And then one more inhale, this time at the pineal, and on the exhale, very gently, exhale the lotus flower down to your iumbi. Hold the breath out. Just hold for a second. And then on the next inhale, bring the lotus flower up to the azare. Gently and lovingly, just inhale gently and lovingly, move that lotus flower up to the azare from the iumbi, and hold the breath at the azare when you've finished. Hold, and in a second forcefully exhale this time, and push the lotus flower all the way down into the center of your Maharic shield. And then breathe easy. Now we're going to do a series of 3 breaths, rapid inhale, exhale breaths, okay? You're going to be inhaling up from earth core, and you're going to exhale down into the lotus flower, all right? So when you exhale, you'll be exhaling to expand energy outward, to radiate outward from the center of the lotus flower under your feet in the Maharic shield. So in your own time, but rapidly, inhale from Urta core, all right, all the way up into your azare, and then a forceful rapid exhale into the center of the lotus flower in the Maharic shield at your feet, expanding outwards. 1, 2, 3. And then breathe easy. Just breathe easily, just relax. And try once more to sense or entertain thoughts or a notion. However, these processes are really quite simple. Just allow yourself to receive impressions, ideas, pictures, whatever is going to happen for you. But sense what the lotus flower is doing. And I can lead you a little bit just by helping you to know that the petals are opening. The outer petals are beginning to open out more. Coming out and down, almost like an animated waterfall, each level opening up. There are 12 levels of 144 dyad petals, all of them gradually, slowly opening, slowly, so gracefully opening up. And as they continue to open up, there is a sense that there at the core, there is something. And this something is a ball of heliotalic energy at the core. And it's this heliotalic ball of energy that's helping the lotus, this is a dyadic lotus flower, helping this lotus flower to open out. Open out, open out. It's continuing to open out, opening out, approaching the diameter of the Maharic shield, and even then more. It's opening out to meet either the diameter of the Maharic shield or the diameter of the sphere that you created previously, whichever applies to you. Now in a moment we're going to take a very strong deep breath, and what we're going to do with that breath is to bring the enlarged dyadic lotus flower all the way up to chakra 14. You will hold briefly up there, 36 inches above your head, and then you will exhale down to Urta core at the Mahadra. There'll be one more inhale up to chakra 14, and you will leave it all there. All right, so take one more deep breath. Bring the enlarged dyadic lotus flower all the way up to chakra 14. Hold briefly. Complete package breath. Exhale all the way down to earth core. Don't wait, and then one more inhale all the way up to chakra 14 and leave the whole package there. And then gently exhale and disengage, leaving everything at chakra 14. Now you might notice or sense a sort of swirling sensation of very, very pretty pearl gold and silver currents. They're just flowing in all sorts of directions, crossing through each other, running up and down the diameter of the large sphere that you created. Some are going clockwise, some counterclockwise, like almost seeing a pillar of glass with silver and gold energy running up and down it, as if it were liquid. We can still see the clearness as well, all the way, almost the translucence of it, not completely saturated in silver and gold. So just breathe gently as your pillar begins to gain strength. And in a moment we're going to turn our attention to the nesting disc in the center of the ceiling. We're going to bring that disc down into the indigo shield below our feet. It's going to almost slide down all of our pillars all at the same time. And all you have to do really is just to take a short series of gentle inhale and exhale breaths. Now, a series of gentle inhale, exhale breaths. It doesn't matter that as individuals that you're not synchronizing, that won't matter at all. But what you're going to do is you're just going to take an inhale up, mentally connecting with the way the beloveds have organized the nest of spheres in the center of the ceiling. So on each inhale, you're going to make your personal connection with that newly formed shield. And on each exhale, collectively, you will move it down by increments. So just breathe with the intention, quite deep but relaxed inhale breaths, forming a connection with the shield that is sitting there up at the center of the ceiling. And on the exhale, just privately and personally intend that you're doing your bit, you're making a contribution to gently moving the shield down from the ceiling position. Just repeat that, just keep on going, just for a little while. It's coming down now. You bring it down nicely. If you can sense anything, it's just above head height as you sit. Just moving on down. Just keep on breathing gently as you are. Moving down now. Moving down now through waist height. And now moving on down towards your feet. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and nestling in the indigo shield now. And then just breathe gently now as the shields complete the merger. All of the large different sized Sadi sphere replicas are now sitting in the core. Inside the center, it's huge, huge point, huge within the center of the cluster of the Sadi sphere replicas, right in the center of the indigo shield. It's now also the center of the cluster shield that you brought down, and there's a huge lotus flower there, huge dyadic lotus flower, 12 rounds of 144, 1728, dyad petal earther shield, one that the indigo shield is bringing down and merging with the earther shield. And this is coming gently to an end now. Okay. And now we're going to merge ourselves in our Sadi spheres with ourselves that are stationed down in Urta core. And as we do this, it's going to draw the group shield, the indigo shield, with the Sadi spheres and the dyad keys and the large dyad lotus flower in the center down into the center of Urta shield. Once we all go down with the shield, we're going to get a gift from the Urta shield. It's a dyadic tachyon burst that will create a rapid initiation of the dyad tachyon cycle. So, just try to bring your awareness to your own personal ascension chamber, your ascension pillar. We're going to ride our sadi sphere down we're going to ride our large sadi sphere down inside of the ascension chamber tube. So it's going to be like a ball sliding down the inside of a tube, and you've got to imagine that yourself is going with it. And try, as you do this, to take as much of your consciousness as you can. You can't take your body right now, so take as much of your consciousness as you can. And remember, and it's important to remember, that you are wearing still your heliotalic garment of light, solidly connected with and a part of, woven through, forevermore, your own etheric body. And this itself will allow you, especially, will assist you in gaining passage into these domains. And imagine as you breathe yourself down, one whoosh of an exhale breath takes you down. And the shield is going to come. You don't even have to worry about picking up the shield. It will simply come down on its own as the group goes down. But they would like us to try to synchronize this one whoosh exhale breath, so we can all go down the ascension tubes together and come out merged with our replica cells in Urta core. So we'll try and do the whoosh, the exhale together. So inhale now, long, slow and deep, up to the pineal, and hold there to build charge. Hold there to build charge. Build charge, build charge. And on 3, I'll count you. On 3, I want you all to let go a whopping, forceful exhale breath on 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoa. Just relax now and let your ascension pillar do its thing. And allow your consciousness to travel down the tube in your sphere as much as you can manage. And allow yourself to perceive or feel as much as you can. Feeling yourself merged with the other part of yourselves down there at the core. Try and retain a sense of feeling and intention that you and your heliotalic garment, which is probably more important than you realize, is a close connection, a forever connection. And move your awareness and consciousness on into this lovely space. As if you're inside of not too large a cave, a bit bigger than the room we're in now, but with an absolutely lovely atmosphere. Pale pink and pale blue light running throughout it. Kind of a gentle, soft, sort of a sunset kind of light, a dimmed light anyway. Do your best to sense the other people that are standing down there. We're sitting, everyone else, or the Ishanua are actually standing. Try and sense the other people in their heliotalic garments. Try to sense the parts of them from here that are trying to come in. But above all, imagine yourself down there now. That's the prime concern. Imagine or intend yourself really down there. Sensing yourself trying to come in, trying to focus on pulling yourself down there, into that future self, into that body. And try and bring the focus of your attention to a particular point in the center of this this safe cave-like space. The pink and pale blue light running all around. Intend it, imagine it, see it if you can, towards the center area where the Ishanua group are actually standing round a set of 3 rather large balls of metallic energy. One of the balls is pale gold, one is pale silver, and the other is pale blue celestaline. These are the center of the party key within the torn light seed of the Erta shield. We are actually looking at the true core of the being Erta. It is a very loving, vulnerable space, a precious space to be in, to be entrusted to come to. It is like letting someone into the core of not only your soul, but of your very, very existence. And here we're being trusted by Erta. Try to accept the grace that Erta emanates. Feel the consciousness of the Erta shield. You can use your ascension pillar in future to travel back to this place anytime you like. You have been invited now. You are trusted to be in such a sacred space. You can continue to visit as long as the privilege is never abused. You will always be welcome here. There's a wonderful, wonderful healing nature to the consciousness of Erta. Try a little bit more to sense some more of this feeling while you're here. Continue to retain this focus and relax in the knowledge that the indigo shield has now lowered itself down, has centered itself on the center area of the 3 party key center balls in the Erta shield. Right now, the large dyad lotus flower that was in the indigo shield is moving down into the set of 3 metal-like balls in the Erta shield. Each of the petals are turning to flames, to lovely standing wave flames. They're no longer quite like the natural texture of flowers anymore, but they're instead beautiful, precious flames of various colors, all spiraling, some clockwise, some counterclockwise, into the 3 metal balls. As a result of this spiraling, there's an interaction taking place between the dyad keys that we sent down, the 1728 dyad keys of the dyad lotus, and the 3 metallic balls in the core of the party key of the torn of the Erta shield. The balls are going to pop, and when that pop happens, there's going to be a dyadic celestaline wave burst of tachyons that releases. And we're going to come to catch that. But you don't want to be in the core when the pop happens. So we're going to bring ourselves back up now. And we need to do that by taking a simultaneous inhale and bring ourselves up together. So I count you onto the inhale on 3. Inhale together, please. 1 and inhale up to the Azure collectively. 1, 2, 3. Whoosh up. There's going to be a rush of energy. There's a dyadic celestaline wave that will come up right behind us from Erta within the next few minutes, maybe 5, maybe 10. And we don't have to do anything to receive it. But it must be said, I suppose, but if you don't want to receive it for any reason, and I can't think why, but you must know you have the option. You can just say no and your feels won't, so you can just relax now. It will all take care of itself. And as long as you're willing to accept in all grace, then every one of you that is willing is going to receive a burst, a surge, however directly experience it or not, called the dyadic tachyon burst from Erta. And this will begin the process of tachyon initiation in our bodies and in our shields, and will serve as future foundation for the myadic component of this energetic expansion. Allow yourselves to resume normal breathing in your own time. Open your eyes and bring yourselves fully back into the room. You are advised with all kind sentiments to be gentle with yourselves for the next 10 to 15 minutes. The dyadic burst is due to complete for pretty much everyone within 10 minutes of now. Okay, and I think I mentioned earlier that a little bit of stretching will assist the process. Just stretch your bodies out, a little bit of private space, but walk around a little bit. Please don't go rushing off to dinner and sitting down and shoving solids into your body right away, because that would not really be recommended and would not support you in the process that you're completing. Okay? Right, we are. All right. It's 7:15 now. We will resume. I will be here at 9:45 to complete the run of techniques for today. Okie doke. Be gentle, but enjoy dinner. I have one word of advice. Don't. Because it's all coming together. Anybody remember what today is? What? Okay. It's May 27, 2006, right? Yeah. And we've been so caught up in all things Starfire, haven't we? That we've been caught up with the detail of Starfire, haven't we? And today is Starburst Pillar 2. And there's a red pulse coming in tonight.